welcome to Myers ASMR. How are you? Relax, relax, relax. Hey, your path lights up in a way that you cannot miss it. You can feel the compulsion. Your path lights up in a way that you cannot miss it. You can feel the compulsion. Guess what? I felt the compulsion towards this here tuna wrap that I picked up while I did my grocery shopping at Trader Joe's yesterday. No, they're not sponsoring me. Hopefully one day they will, but I'm just there so much because of how great their stuff is. Really great prices, great products. Anyways, let's dig in. I ate the other half of it yesterday because I figured I wasn't going to be too hungry to eat the whole thing on camera. I got these cheesy snacks yesterday. I tend to cut off the top of the bag. Used to eat a lot of crunchy cheese doodles, and he would keep the bag hidden from us because those would be his own snacks for when he would watch his game on TV or whatever. When he would sit in front of the TV, he wanted his snacks, and he knew that if we got our hands on them, we would eat them up, and he was right. Sometimes we used to find them and we would go in there and sneak some, but we wouldn't eat all of them because we would try to make it look like we hadn't touched them. And then, of course, one of the greatest freedoms is having the ability to buy your own, get your own for yourself. So, when I became older and I could buy my own cheese doodles, I did so. And then I kind of lost the desire for them. I didn't need to crave them so much because I could buy a big bag for myself. That was just enough. Not too much. Then I have my snackety snack. If my dad were here today, he'd love these. And for some reason, he never bought the puffy ones. It was always the crunchy ones. But I like the puffy ones too. These just remind me of my dad, all those years of him hiding the bag next to his chair. We always knew they were there. And we respected it, for the most part. You know, we knew those are his special snacks just for him when he sat in his chair and watched his shows. Why not? And if we were sitting there with him, he'd share some, so it wasn't like we weren't getting any snacks. We had our own stuff. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. Just in case. From time to time, people write me that they want me to talk more about myself. They want to know more about me, which makes a lot of sense because I feel the same way with the people that I watch and follow. It's natural. I'll be 53 in 2025. This is my special brew. I've been drinking a lot of herb teas that I just mix up different things in them. This particular mixture I've made to help with my gut issues. It's 1 peppermint tea bag, 2 dried soursop leaves, 1 or 2 hibiscus petals, and a little pinch of chamomile petals. Yeah, that's it. I should probably add a couple of drops of oregano oil for my sinus issues. I'm moving more towards holistic healing. I mean, I always was like that, sort of. But the older I get, and my mom, it started with my mom. I would see her with herbs and supplements and teas, but it wasn't something that she did all the time. It was just kind of there in the background. Every now and then she'd mix up something, but she was always taking vitamins, always. Herbs were always around. So, from a very early age, especially when we were real little, when she was reading these books by Laila Africa and Dick Gregory. And around that time when she first started reading those books, that's when she was really, mixing her stuff. And of course, as the decades went on, it became less and less like anything. When something is new and novel, you're very passionate and gung-ho about it, and then it kind of slips away unless it's become a really entrenched habit. So she upkept a few things over the years, but herbs were always around. We took yoga classes together, meditation classes. What else did we do together? Oh, she took us to the Y. She used to go after work to her exercise class, and we went with her. So, it was never anything that was just like, she wasn't fanatic about any of it. So, but it stuck with me. And I'm incorporating those things into my life. Thank goodness. Thank goodness, because, sometimes I feel like you have to seek these things out. And I probably would not have sought them out on my own if I didn't have that early, role modeling. she was considered beautiful. And she looked young. For most of her life, she looked a lot younger than she really was. Except her age didn't really show until she became sick with cancer. And then that's when her hair turned super gray. And anyways, I was like, wow, it's something how that thing just aged her so rapidly. And then you could see how old she really was. But before then, she was looking quite youthful. Up until, her 60s. Anyways, so because she was considered beautiful, I think that motivated her to take care of her skin and to upkeep herself. So I also use castor oil on my face, even in my hair oils. I take my collagen powders with my smoothies every morning, during the week especially. On the weekends, it's kind of hit or miss because I allow myself to do other things like make these videos, So that's just a little bit about me and my background. As you know, everything is not all health food and raw veggies and whatnot, but I would like to be that way. I really seriously would. I wish I could just eat like that always. My brother and sister are vegan, and may the Lord bless them. Maybe one day for me too. Well, let's get into this. It's been a while since I've read from the People Smart book, because it's all about getting better and better every day in every way, right? And I think people skills are some of the most important skills a person could ever have. And I wish that people skills and interpersonal skills and communication were more emphasized in early education, because I think that will take you much, much further in life than a lot of stuff like rote memorization of whatever, this and that. And I'm not saying you don't need language. Of course, you need reading comprehension. You need to know basic math and all of that. Of course you do. But I would argue that the people skills are more important. Interpersonal skills, relationship skills are more important, are the most important skills. All right, so we're on the shifting gears chapter. Let's see. 3 ways to shift gears. What does it really take to get unstuck in a troubled or frustrating relationship? Interpersonally, intelligent people utilize 3 skills to stimulate change. They begin by accepting the challenge. They recognize when things are not going well in a relationship and seek to improve it. Next, high interpersonally intelligent people try to figure out what's stuck by uncovering the ruts in a troubled relationship. And finally, interpersonally intelligent people change the dynamics by acting in novel ways instead of waiting for others to make the first move. We know it sounds like a tall order. Let's focus on each of the skills in turn. 1, accepting the challenge. If you are open to shifting gears when a relationship is not going well, you have won half the battle. To accept the challenge you are facing It is important to face reality, take responsibility, and apply high standards. Face reality. At first glance, it would seem that anyone would recognize when a relationship is not productive. The fact is, however, that few people like to think about a relationship that is not going well. It's painful to come to terms with unpleasant reality. It's easier to pretend that things are going well enough or will get better soon. One way to avoid the truth is to act bewildered or powerless. People ask themselves, why is this happening to me? I just don't understand what's going on. Another way is to procrastinate. People may say to themselves, it's best to lie low for a while. I'll wait till they get their act together. A third possibility is denial. People think, the situation can't be as bad as I think. This change isn't for real. It will blow over. Those who are people smart have the courage to look at things the way they are. When relationships are not going well, they ask themselves, what's going on in this relationship or situation right now? How do I feel about it? What can I do to deal with the problems that are occurring? Take responsibility. When things are not going well, people are quick to place the blame outside themselves. It's a convenient coping strategy because blaming others gets the pain we feel off our chests. Unfortunately, the pain associated with unproductive relationships returns again and again and continues to gnaw away at us. People smart individuals accept that a relationship is a two-way street. Even if the other party's behavior is particularly toxic, one always has the choice of how to react. The classic example is the partner of an alcoholic. Rarely, if ever, does one individual cause another to drink. However, the alcoholic's partner can support the drinking habit by such behaviors as keeping it a secret or assuming the responsibilities of the alcoholic when he or she is incapacitated. As long as the partner stays in a relationship with an alcoholic, he or she influences, for better or worse, what goes on. That is a fact, not a criticism. Imagine that every interaction you ever had with another person were videotaped from the beginning of the relationship. Who's at fault in the relationship becomes an absurd question if someone were to rewind the tape and stop it several times at random intervals. At the moment of viewing, it may appear that person A is the bad guy, but it is just as likely that person B would get that title at another time. Who's at fault depends on when you stop the tape. Relationships are entangled and complicated. It's smart to acknowledge this fact. Accept that almost all problems are between people rather than within people. And accept the challenge to work on the relationship even if the other party is slow to do so. I'm gonna stop it here. Don't you just love these nuggets? These nuggets. You know, I wish. And I've had this book for 10 years, and this is my first time reading it. I wish I had started this type of study like decades ago. I mean, serious. Well, look. We do things when we feel a strong need to do them. You know, if you are interested in collaborating, if you like what I'm doing here, and you want us to help out each other's social media, hey, let's talk. If you have products or services that you want to see me review on this channel and try out, hey, let me know. I am open to the collaborations. And remember that your path lights up in a way that you cannot miss it. you can feel the compulsion. And if you like what I'm doing here, like and subscribe, donate to the channel. Catch me in the next video, and may you find lasting happiness.